Welcome. Okay.
Well, that turned out cool.
Yeah. I think it's really pretty. I have two more to make for just this one. So this is a live sew along we're doing with embroidery. And I don't know if we have any more patterns or kits for it, but I think we have kits. I don't know if we have patterns. But yeah, it's the Lunchbox Quilts Just Flowers. And so embroidery with the applique with the embroidery machine is my absolute favorite thing to do. And so that's
It seems real stiff. Can you pass that so we can?
Yeah, it's stiff because it has
the backing,
the stabilizer.
So if you bought the kit, you can get the pattern.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So this stabilizer is a
that cottony.
well, I had to use
tearaway.
tearaway as well. That is, so see now it's kind of
Okay.
flimsy. But I did use a cotton backing on it as well. Same thing you use on t-shirt quilts, just to give it some body, because this is pretty dense embroidery, and so anytime you're doing anything dense like this, it wants to pucker around the edges right here. And so I don't want that. So, and it seemed to have worked pretty well. So I think I'm going to do the rest of the quilt with it. I still got to trim it down to 12.5 inches, but that's fun. And I have two more blocks to do. I'm going to do them on the same machine, and because the pattern's already loaded, and all I got to do is just hit go and go, look what I made, which is the best.
Yeah.
Okay, who got show and tell? Anybody?
Nope. Not
Nobody.
today, other than on broken pieces.
Cool. Is everybody all cut out? I know you don't
Yeah.
have that.
It
10.
took me 3 days.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I just couldn't. It was, I don't know, it just seemed like it was, now maybe it was more picking out fabric and
Okay.
trying to coordinate, probably. But as you can tell, I had to take pieces on.
Yes.
And then I think that's what I'm gonna do, is then I transferred them and
wrote the colors.
just write the colors on there.
Peggy, will you hold yours up? How you did your colors?
Oh, yeah.
So you cut out
I just took a piece of scrap and double sticky tape and put it where I have the numbers that I actually bought, just in case I have to buy again. I'm not real happy with this one, but we'll see.
color is a hard thing to do. We have a color wheel. It's a painter's color wheel, and I like that a lot because it has the little cutout in it, and you can hold your fabric over it and see which ones go really well.
That's what I had.
But color is one of those, a lot of people struggle with it. And I think Van Gogh did color the best because he uses opposites on the color wheel. So you see a lot of blue and yellow together, a lot of orange and green together, a lot of red and green together. And anytime you're opposite on the color wheel, you cannot go wrong. And then you can always add black and white because they are neutral colors. So if you wanted to do a Christmas quilt and put it on a black background, it works. Or a white background, it works. That's why those work so well. So yeah, color is one of those things, especially when you have a lot of colors like this quilt does. Scrappy looking. I was inspired by Kim Deal, who does very, very scrappy quilts. All, you know, that's her thing. These are her fabrics mostly.
And I'm kind of, because this is my teal, but I don't consider that a teal,
Yeah.
you know, and this is a mint, and I'm not quite sure that's a mint. You know, I think I'm just getting confused by the words. When I laid them out, I liked them.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I've not done it myself, that you can do when you're picking out color is take your phone, put it in black and white mode, and then take a picture, because if all of your colors look the same, you don't have enough contrast in your quilts, because quilts like this, they work because of the contrast. So there's certain things on this quilt that just stand out more than other. In this one, it's the teal and the rose color here.
Yeah.
And then you get out here and it has this pop of orange. And that's what really makes the colors on the quilt work together. And so they're different. We have different values. So we have like a really dark teal in here, or it's kind of an aqua more. And
Yeah, I
these
did
little,
the monochromatic
these.
of the pattern.
Yeah. So yeah, hold that up for everybody to see. So if you hold it up.
Black and white copied the original pattern so that I knew which colors were the lights and which colors were the darks, and picked my colors by that.
Yeah. Very smart. Very smart. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. See all the contrast and which ones turn out to be light, which ones turn out to be dark. It works really well. But you can do the same thing with your phone. Just picture. Okay, so I wanted to talk about these shapes. We are doing 14, 15, and 13. Which is these 3 shapes. Your best friend. Glue based. I use this one. It does rinse out with water. It's a gentle hold, so if it, you do have to sit there, glue based, and it's just dots. It's not, and both of these have the little micro tip that you can just put a dot down. So sit down at your ironing board, glue all your pieces, sew them. Try not to get past that 1/4 of an inch, but then just press your seams open. There's a lot of these.
Which with the glue is going to be a little harder.
It's not. Well, with this one, it's really not. It just comes undone really easily. If you have the doohickey, which is that, or a stylus, you can just slide it up between the glue and the seam and just pull it open. It does add a lot of extra time when you're piecing, but we're sewing on the bias, and that's always not much of a treat. So I wanted to go over, it's this one. I thought it was this one. This one, these line up pretty perfectly when you are sewing them. Your pieces line up pretty much exact, right? They probably made this piece to go with this shape. Not so much on this one. So when you are lining these up, they don't line up perfectly. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to show the camera, and then I'm going to bring it around to you. So when you're lining these up, hi Peggy, you have, let me turn this around so I can see it, Peggy, because Peggy sews with us as well. So when you are lining these up, see how there is a little bit sticking out over the top? You're going to have that. See how it's sticking out?
Okay. Okay, so if you're matching at the bottom, right, you would want it to start at the bottom point first.
You want it to start at the bottom point first. You're lining up this corner and this corner down here because it sticks out down here too.
What number are those 2 pieces?
This is 14 and 15.
How come yours are bigger?
I use the 6-inch cube because I wanted to have a different, yeah. So see that corner lines up, it just sticks out up here.
Oh, okay.
Same thing down here.
Yeah.
So line up in the edge corner. And then do your pressing, and then do the same thing on the other side. With these blocks, you do have some trimming to do in the corner. If you don't have, I didn't bring one back here. Quilter Select 4.5-inch ruler. It is wonderful. You set it down. You're gonna line up with this side. So corner. I have a ruler back here. I need some mat. So you're gonna line your ruler up with this corner to trim, because there's gonna be little points sticking out. And if you use a guide or anything with your sewing machine, when you get to that, it's gonna poke out a little bit and cause your seam to be wonky. So those are my tips and tricks for sewing these. And we're getting them out of the way early, so it's all good. Any questions about this? Has everybody, I know some of you have sewed this before. Have you sewed these before?
Yeah.
No. First foray. Yeah. This one is $13.99 and this one is $8.99. I like this one. I use this one at home. It is Acorn Precision Piecing Products Seam Align Gentle Hold Fabric Glue. It's a mouthful.
It lasts forever. Acorn.
It does. I mean, you can, 4 or 5 quilts out of one of these little tiny bottles.
When you lay that on there, are you stretching it a little bit?
No.
Because the bottom kind of lines up, but the top is a little bit off.
Yeah.
On mine.
Yeah, so you're probably you want it to be aligned on
the bottom.
Start lining up here at the bottom edge.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be perfect because so you're going to want to line up that corner. The very outie, here, I'm going to come over and show you. Yeah. So even if you line up perfectly, so see how it still has a little bit that sticks out? That's why I use black so we can see it. You're lining up this very corner.
And make it stick over a little bit.
Yeah.
And then up here it's really like that one edge.
So this very tip corner. And then when you smooth it out.
So you're dotting it.
Yeah. So you're just dotting it along. So this is lined up pretty perfectly. I'm trying not to pull it. I know it. It's hard not to. It's hard not to, but both sides stick out a little bit.
Now, once you put the glue on, do you iron it?
Yeah,
do.
you press it.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot.
Oh, yeah, because I tried using it once and it didn't hold, but I hadn't pressed it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you have to iron it.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Well, and do you have a secret on, my Acorn thing right now is plugged. And I can't seem to stick a needle, I'm like.
Corsage pin.
What?
A corsage pin, the pearl head pins, or do you have a long arm? It's the
No, I don't
thicker,
have
Those big.
the bigger pins.
Yeah.
They're thicker. T-pin. Some of the
Okay.
T-pins will work.
But if you put it in water or something, it doesn't dissolve that.
I always, when I store it upside down.
Oh.
Like this, and it does a pretty good job of keeping that glue not from hardening.
Okay.
So,
I know I recap it all the time.
yeah.
You have to keep it capped.
Well,
Because it will dry out.
the first bottle I had, I used a pin and just stuck it in, kept it in there. Well, then it made everything look brown and rusty.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I bought another bottle, and now this one's plugged.
Yeah. If you bring it in, we have pins that'll work, or I might be able to find you one here that you can just have to take home and fit down in it. But yeah, it does happen. It happens to this one too. But yeah, I do like this one a little bit better. I have it, I don't know. To me, this is a little thicker. So when I can just hold it upside down, give it a little squeeze, and the dot comes out. This one is a little thinner, flows a little easier. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
They both work.
I use that one sideways
Sideways.
as I'm dotting.
Yeah. don't, it's tempting. I found myself doing it to just do a line. Don't do it. Just do dots. Just dot, 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 dot. So, those will make piecing this so much easier. Then you have all your pieces glued and shaped. You know, you can just sit down and sew them. And we do have a lot of them. Don't be mad at me. You're doing a lot of sewing this time because we are making 20, 36, 4, and 4. So that's 40, 64 pieces. But if you glue them all, maybe hour and a half. So certainly doable in our month.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions? Any questions about anything? We have a new kit. I think it is super cool. Upside down. Isn't that cute? And it uses Lori Holt here. I'll show you the fabrics. Uses Lori Holt fabrics. This is called Summer Slice, and those are the fabrics that are in the. It is a really cute. This one uses that method, so I mean you can see there are some shapes that look like our AccuQuilt. May possibly be part of our AccuQuilt, but if you wanted to do this one, I would use your strip dies to cut out the shapes, because they're going to tell you to cut out a square, and then you're going to put a square on top of it, and then sew diagonally, and then trim it. And that's the method for this one. And quilt measures 57 by 71 and a half. 57 and a half by 71 and a half. Really cute pattern. So Pauline is making our store sample, so be sure and check it out when it comes in. The kit and pattern is $185.99. So with all your extra time that you're not working on this quilt, you could work on this one. Okay, if there's no more questions, I have nothing else.
Oh, I wanted to invite you all to bring a quilt to the Johnson County Fair this summer. We have lots of room, we want lots of quilts.